Giving the community a voice. Haver FM. How Community Radio.
Welcome to another Heeds and Hearts Scotland podcast. Our charity was founded in June 2021 to create, inspire and promote social connections through community arts projects in the How and wider North East Fife. We are working with communities impacted by the gradual dismantling of local infrastructure and services, lack of housing, limited transport links, and the integration into our everyday lives of digital technology, contributing to social isolation and loneliness. There has been a lot of research on the effects of loneliness on our mental and physical health. It's seen as one of the biggest health concerns we face. Loneliness is as harmful to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Heeds and Hearts are working alongside local people and groups to build a programme of cultural activities based in the village halls. Governments and organisations such as WHO have researched the evidence supporting the value of the arts to alleviate loneliness. This can take many different forms, everything from singing to painting to writing. There are no age requirements for experiencing these benefits.
Hi, thank you for listening. My name is Ian Harrower and I'm the chair of Heeds and Hearts Scotland. We return to more edited highlights from our chum Ben Anderson's shows, which he recorded for us last May during our Haver FM How Community Radio project. Ben returned to his home village of Newburgh, where he wove interviews with local creative people into his 2-hour shows, which were also packed with top drill music choices. Unfortunately, music copyright issues mean we cannot include these tunes in this podcast. One thing that is hopefully becoming apparent is that Newburgh, yes, humble old Newburgh in the Kingdom of Fife and on the banks of the River Tay, is quite a creative hub. How inspiring has it been to hear about all these incredible people living within a small community, and Newburgh with a population of just over 2,000 people. I wonder how many people living within your small community would sound good and equally inspiring on a podcast. Well, stay tuned. In this episode, Ben visits East Berlin-born Jeanette Sendler. The art of hat making, or millinery to be precise, was Jeanette Sendler's early passion. From this interest evolved her current commitment to fibre and performance art. Arriving in Scotland from East Berlin in 1991, Jeanette studied at Edinburgh College of Art in theatre costume design. After training as a tailor for women's clothing, she worked in the costume departments of various theatres, including the Bertolt Brecht Theatre and Comic Opera in Berlin, the Scottish Opera, English National Opera, and the Australian Opera in Sydney. Alongside costume production, Jeanette continues to create a line of felted hats that teeter between the functional and the theatrical. Over the past decade, her interest in costume design has moved from the theatre stage to performance art, and much of her recent projects now involve large-scale installations rendered in felt or paper. Jeanette is a costume designer taking inspiration from period costume, art history and museum collections. She also returned to college to study filmmaking. She produces short documentaries, focusing on various aspects of textile history, her own hats, and the unusual setup of her textile studio. In March 2007, Jeanette started a year-long residency in the Fife town of Newburgh, and after 6 months, permanently relocated there.
The final interview of the show for this week. Next up we have Jeanette Sendler, and she's also based in Newburgh, as all the interviewees are for the show, but she's originally from Germany, so I hope you find this interview really interesting, and enjoy it. Okay, so I'm here with Jeanette Sendler, originally from East Germany, where she worked as a ladies' tailor, and she came to Fife via Edinburgh and became Newburgh's first artist in residence. Her launch project, A Plum Job, was all about the fruit of Newburgh and working with the community to share their heritage and her skills, which she made a film about. She now works with textiles, felting, hat making and clothes design And she used to run masterclasses from her studio, attended by people from all over the world. You moved from Germany, where you were a master tailor, to Scotland, where you're now an expert in felt and textiles. How would you compare your creative life in Scotland to that in Germany?
Well, I left Germany 30 years ago. So time has passed. I have taken 2 more degrees, an honors degree in performance costume and a master's degree in performance costume at Edinburgh College of Art. I have set up 2 companies together with my business partner, Alice Mountain. We opened Big Cut Textiles in Newburgh, a platform for international textile artists, teachers alike as students to come and take summer schools. I also have run a business, a millinery business for 10 years in Perth called Hat in a Cut. And yes, what can I say? What has changed? A lot has moved on, has moved forward and developed.
How would you feel the sense of community in Scotland and in Fife compares to that of back in Germany?
I'm from Berlin, which is a big city, so you find pockets of community. I was working for the Comic Opera, which is a community and a little landmark in itself. So you get engaged with your surrounding areas, your surrounding people. Whereas in Scotland, everything is more widespread. You form friendships in an inner circle in smaller communities, which is nourishing either way.
And I understand you had a shop in Perth, but due to COVID, unfortunately, had to close. How have you managed with having to adapt to changing circumstances? And what's on the horizon for you from a business and creative perspective?
I had a millinery studio in Perth for 10 years, which really was a studio stroke shop with opening times. And I mainly catered for weddings, special occasions, garden parties. So that had all fallen away with the pandemic. So I moved my studio and my skills and everything involved, tools, to Newburgh, to my house. I stopped making hats for a while and looked into what I've done so far. I took stock. I started making little retrospective films in different chapters, looking at what I've done so far. And that has led me, creatively, has led me towards filmmaking. And I'm now planning to go back to college in September to take a full-time filmmaking course. And in the future, I'm going to make films where textiles, hats, and other textile-related subjects are taking center stage.
Fantastic. So, busy schedule for you and lots of creative outlets.
Yes, I'm looking for my niche, I suppose, but in the textile world, which I'm familiar with, there is artists always looking for how to portray their work. So there is a market I can step into, helping them to bring out and present best what they've achieved and what they've created so far. So that's going to be my role in the future.
So people travelled far and wide to attend your masterclasses in Newburgh, which obviously greatly benefited the local community. This must make you feel happy and proud of the work you were doing. How does it make you feel knowing that you helped and contributed to the community in this way?
I came as an artist in residence to Newburgh, and I offered my services, my skills and everything for a year to the inner community. But I think the last 10 years I've contributed immensely together with my business partner, bringing people from as far as Alaska and China and India, New Zealand, Australia, you name it, to Newburgh to mix and mingle and to make Newburgh now a well-known place in the world for textiles.
And finally, where can people connect with you locally and online?
Well, first of all, I would say come this weekend and visit me in my studio in Newburgh on Woodruff Road. I'm open from Saturday till Monday. And otherwise, to be honest, I'm setting up a new website. I'm going to recreate a new platform. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, but watch the space, really.
Okay, and it would just be your name that people would search for on Facebook and Instagram?
It will be under Jeanette Sendler. And if you fancy to stay as a residential artist, you may. People come and stay in my Airbnb called Burger Chapel for retreats, for time away. Come and see us anytime.
I asked you if you'd like to choose a song and tell us what it means to you. If you could tell us the artist and why you've picked this song.
I picked Maria Callas. I think she's got a fantastic voice. She had an amazing life with her ups and downs, and she helped me personally through the pandemic.
Brilliant, Jeanette. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks to Ben and Jeanette. We will continue to share more of these special edits of Ben's interviews with the fascinating creative people of Newburgh in further episodes. Now, people get to hear about and find podcasts like this one if you share it, rate it, and talk about it. Please follow us on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Watch out for information on a new project coming soon, and find out how you can become involved in making podcasts about creative and fascinating people in your community. Let's end this podcast with a snippet from that beautiful track selected by Jeanette and by me pretending to speak Italian, O mio babino caro, from the comic opera by Puccini called Gianni Schicchi.
Haver FM, How Community Radio, is supported by the Fife Communities Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund through Fife Voluntary Action and the Scottish Government.